Today is another accessory review and install video on our Tesla Model Y. I have to apologize, I know I've been gone all summer. The videos have been super slow coming out. We've been traveling with the kids for the last couple months, but we've got some new stuff coming up here, and today we're doing an accessory by EV Annex, and this one's gonna be pretty exciting. My wife kind of like demanded this. We don't have performance vehicles. Take a look at the Model Y, what we have right now. They look pretty cool, but we're gonna be putting on some brake caliper covers today. They're gonna really, hopefully spice it up. So what I've got here is I've got a box. And inside this box, I have caliper covers for both the Model 3 and the Model Y. And today we're gonna be putting them on the Model Y, and we'll do the Model 3 one a little bit later. But you guys know me if you've been around the channel a while. I love opening stuff with a great big dull knife. I love putting stuff onto my car that makes it look different and more unique than other cars. All these Teslas, the thousands of them on the road, they all look exactly the same. So anything you can do to make yours stand out a little bit is great. I mean, I have already tried to get in other Model Ys since we bought Amber's car in just the school parking lot and had the homeowners or the owners go, that's my car. And I'm like, because they all look the dang same. So I'm trying to do anything I can to like change that a little bit. We've got body kits coming for this car. Everything's gonna be put on this. So if you like that kind of thing, make sure you take a second, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss those videos. So for now, let's get inside of this box, see what these things look like, talk about the tools that are gonna be needed, then we're gonna go install them on the car step by step, and looking forward to hearing what your comments are, what you guys think about them. And to be honest with you, I ordered these so long ago, I don't even remember what color we ordered, so let's get into it. And of course, when I say I ordered, I mean Evanex sent these out to me. I didn't pay for these, like I don't pay for anything that comes on this channel, which I'm so thankful for, thanks to you guys watching our videos, but I'm not sure what color we selected, so let's get this out. You know, I can't believe it's 3 years of doing product reviews and this thing has never once been sharpened. It's pretty pathetic, actually. I'm gonna hurt myself eventually here, but let's get some of this tape. Gosh, it's more of a pry bar than it is a knife. All right, I think we might have been at the point of no return here. Now, I'm not sure why there's a bigger box and a smaller box, but let's open up the bigger box first, because if I remember right from back in the days of Christmas presents as a kid, you always went for the bigger box first. All right, sweet, so right off the bat, what we got here, we got our instructions, and they actually included some tools, which is kind of nice because now you don't have to go and dig through it to try to figure out what looks like. We got like a 3/8 wrench in there, as well as a screw of sorts, and there's also an Allen wrench in there. We've got our instructions here, and they got nice big pictures with huge numbers. The only thing they're missing are pop-outs. I really like books with pop-outs. And then here they are. They all come in their own bag, and there are 4 of these. You get a full set when you order these for the entire car, front and back, and they look a little bit different. So these ones are gonna be for the front. So, oh, surprise, they're red. So it looks like we got red. There's red and there's yellow, I believe. And you can see they have a clip right here as well as down here. This one's actually the one that you're gonna put on and you're gonna tighten. You see it's got a little screw there. And in that set, they actually do give you an extra one of these little nut and screw combinations. So if you lose it, you've got that. And what I like about this newer design, they actually have these like, I don't know, they make it look like they're really a part of the brake. They have this little piece here they've added on, as well as this fake nipple right here, which I believe you would put at the top. You can't take that cap off or anything, and it doesn't do anything. You can see on the inside there that they don't go anywhere. They're purely to add some more realism to the brake calipers, which I really like. And then you have the other one here, and actually I was wrong. After looking at these here, they're quite a bit different in size. So the bigger ones actually go onto the front, and the rear ones go onto the back. And they have a little bit different type of clamps on them, but they're both relatively the same. They both have the graphics here, or the nipples on them, the realism. And so, yeah, and if you wonder, right on the instructions, it says right on the very top that it says the bigger one is for the front. So you're not gonna get that wrong. So this all looks pretty simple. I guess let's just go out and get them on the car and see the differences. You've already seen the car, what it looks like before these are installed. Now let's go put them on the car. We're gonna install them, and then we'll take a look at what it looks like after, and then let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this. Is it worth it? Does it look better? You know, fill me in down below. Let's get at it. Okay, so for the sake of this video, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that you've never taken a wheel off of any car, nevertheless a Tesla before, and we're gonna talk about the different tools we're gonna use for this and kind of some proper technique for taking a tire off. So a couple things up front. First of all, the tools you're gonna need are some kind of a lug nut wrench, and on the Tesla, it's 21 millimeters. That's what these sockets are down here, or the lug nuts. And so you can pick one of these things up from any hardware store. On top of that, you need a torque wrench for getting the lug nuts back to the proper tightness. Now, this torque wrench, they run about 99 bucks and another like 18 bucks for the 21 millimeter socket. And the torque you need to put these to is 129 pounds or 175 Newton meters. So it's pretty simple. You can learn about how to adjust your torque wrench, but that's basically gonna be the steps of it. You're also gonna need one of these. This is the little puck that goes underneath of the car. We're gonna put in there to jack it up. You're gonna need a jack itself. You're gonna need a little screwdriver here, as well as obviously the parts to the cover we're gonna install. So first off, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our screwdriver and take this little cap off. So the way that I do this is you just kind of just get it started with the screwdriver, then get your fingers in there to avoid scratching up your wheel at all. And you can just kind of pry it, move your fingers around, and it just sort of pops off, and then you have access to your lug nuts there. Now, before any of this stuff comes off, one of the things we want to do is we want to loosen these nuts while the tire is still on the ground. Now, the back wheels aren't going to move even if they're elevated, but it's just a good practice because the front wheels will free spin when they're off the ground. Now, these little pucks can be picked up for, I think there's like 20 bucks on Amazon. They're real cheap to pick up. Just type in Tesla, you know, jack pucks or whatever, it'll appear. And you have 4 points where these can go into the car down here. You do not want to jack up your tire without anything but one of these in the specified spot down here, or you can ruin your frame, ruin the battery, not good. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna come down here and we're going to place it in the right spot. And you can tell there's just a little hole down here, put it in place and it pops in. Next, we bring our jack into place. You want to make sure you get that puck just nicely centered right on there. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of a snug. And then I'm going to go back here and take the lug nuts off. Or I guess I should say loosen them. I'll take them completely off after we get it up in the air. Next, we're going to jack it all the way up. You don't need it too high. Just get it so it's just off of the ground. And you can come back in here and spin these the rest of the way off. Just take the tire then and set it aside. All right, so we're gonna be doing the rear first, and it is the smaller of the two, and they're very obvious which one is smaller. And the way you know which one it goes on is this rubber cap needs to be on the top. So this is gonna go just like this onto this caliper. So the first thing we need to do is we need to remove this little nut and washer. We don't need that. We're gonna put that on after the fact. Then we're gonna take this clip down here and we're gonna hook it underneath and pull it up. And you just wanna go down here and double check. Just peek down here and just make sure that it is in the right place and it's in no way touching your disc here. You don't want to have any drag, any metal touching any of that. And it's really hard to make it touch. If it's in the right place, it's not even close. Okay, and then the same thing on the very top. There's a piece up here that we're gonna just take this next piece and just hook it over top. Again, it's very obvious where all this stuff goes. And then you're just gonna kind of line up the two holes right here. You're gonna take the screw or the bolt, put it through there, put the nut on it, take the provided wrench, put it on the nut, take the provided Allen wrench, tighten them up. I mean, this is really it, guys. This is all it is. And you're just pinching these two plates together so you can go as tight as you want. You're not gonna hurt anything. Definitely go until they're nice and snug. And so there you have it, okay? You can see right there where it goes right above the rotor there, not touching, nice and snugged in. There you have the actual clamp itself there. Everything's nice and snug. And the same thing down below here. Below it, you can see the bracket down there, all in place. Lots of room around the rotor, and you're just in good shape right there. So now that we've checked to make sure that everything is snug and tight and there's nothing rubbing or touching anywhere it's not supposed to be, which again, it's easy to do that. What we're gonna be doing next then is we're going to be putting the tire back on. So step one, get your tools out of the way. One thing I'll just mention too real quick is make sure that your jack is far enough away from you that you don't like bump and accidentally spin this, because if you do, it's gonna drop this down and that would be very bad. So just be very aware of where your jack is at all times. Keep it angled away from you so that you're, being safe. All right, so first up, get this tire on here, and you just get it kind of close. Then you get it lined up a little bit. You can put your foot underneath of here to kind of help lift it up a little bit. Once you have them lined up, then watch your fingers and everything, but just slide it on there. Don't worry too much about it. Just take one of your lug nuts, get it on one of the top ones here. Just hand tighten them all onto here. And then what I do, because you can tell that it's a little bit off, is I kind of lift up the wheel just a little bit, and I just snug one of these just a little tighter to hold the wheel where I want it. And you can see that the wheel will not move, it doesn't spin. So just get these kind of hand tight the best you can. And again, the reason why we put the tire back on the ground is so that when we use the torque wrench, that we're using the friction of the tire on the ground to lock the nuts versus the gears or anything else. So we got that mostly snug. So now I'm just gonna lower it down so the wheel touches the ground. Nice and slow, right there, that's it. Then I'm gonna take the torque wrench here. And you wanna do kind of a zigzag pattern. So if you did it down here, you wanna go up here next, because you wanna get the wheel tightened on there perfectly flat. Once you hear the click, you know you're good. Then just go around, make sure you got them all. Push in the cover right there, and that's it, you're done. So the only real difference here with this front ones is that it's just a lot bigger, but the concept is basically the exact same. You're gonna hook that on the bottom, then you're gonna take that upper bracket and you're gonna screw it to the other one. It's really, really easy. It's a little bit maybe harder to get down in here. You do have to kind of come in at an angle and work your way around. But once you got it in place, it's pretty obvious it's in place. Get everything hand tight at first. Make sure that nothing's gonna thread itself or off thread or however you say that. Throw on your wrench and just start tightening. Then get in there and just double check that there's clearance all around, everywhere there needs to be. No brackets are touching your plate. Same thing down here on the bottom. All looks good. Pretty happy with that. So now this is why you always want to check your work before you get going, because I was hearing a noise. See, hear this? I could tell right here it was rubbing on it. And I actually even have a little bit of scraping right here on the red paint because it's actually hitting the rim right here. So that means I either didn't put this on properly, which is most likely the case, it needs to go in further, or that I didn't put the wheel back on flat and straight. And you can test the front ones like this, but what you want to do on the back ones, you want to go drive it with your window open very slowly and just listen to see if you can hear any of that noise. I didn't hear this on the other front wheels. We're going to take this wheel back off and see what the problem is. I didn't have it flush onto the actual caliper. So if I just took it like this and push it back, see how that moved there? That moved back. You got to make sure that all these brackets everywhere in here are flush, because the last thing you want is just rubbing on your rim or your wheel and ruining both this and scratching up a little bit on your rim. So now that's nice and flat in there. If I'd have just done this, it would have solved the problem. So should be good now. Now, as you can see, when I spin it, no noise. So this install was incredibly easy. Yes, it does take some tools. You got to have some kind of a jack. You got to have the, the tools like the little pucks. You got to have a torque wrench and a lug wrench nut thing and all that stuff. But when you have the tools, the actual installing of these was relatively simple. If you don't have a performance model, this is one way to get those red calipers for a pretty reasonable price, not having to actually paint them or to go and actually buy the red calipers. Painting can be very expensive, as well as a lot more time consuming. This is an easy way to get that red look. And to most people walking by, they're not gonna notice it's not a real red caliper. So as always, I will leave the link and the price and all that down below in the description of this if you guys wanna pick some of these up for yourself. And again, let me know down in the comments what you think. So we got more installs coming up here on the channel, more drives. If you like this kind of thing, make sure you go down and subscribe. Hit the like on this video if you enjoyed it. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And I'll see you guys on the next video.